We're live.
We are.
All right. You'll notice a bit of a new location for me here. I moved into the living room today as opposed to being in my room. So, not sure if the acoustics are going to change a little bit, but as always, here is the Monday takeaway on Big East Coast Bias. My name is Christopher Novak. I'm joined alongside my fellow co-manager Rob O'Neill. Um, We're going to be discussing a lot that's happened this past week and leading up to what will go on this week with regards to a few more preseason tournaments
Yep.
that are occurring this week, the week of Thanksgiving, and a lot that's gone down around the Big East Conference in the last week as well, as mentioned. So, and we'll likely be getting the new top 25 polls as well as the Player of the Week and Rookie of the Week dished out during the course of this show, so we'll be sure to bring those to you as well.
You want to make predictions about those real quick? I mean, it's tough this week.
Yeah, it's kind of tough this week.
Because you give it to Josh Hart and give it to Ryan Arcidiacono, but they also haven't played nearly as good of competition as anyone in the Big East except St. John's.
Yeah, I'm not sure if competition necessarily plays out in this scenario. But
actually, freshman is tough this week. Freshman is tough this week.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and no, I don't know.
It's tough. There are a lot of pretty solid performers in the last week.
Yeah.
Tyler Lewis also could get it for his performance down in Puerto Rico, which we'll discuss in a little bit. Georgetown player could get it, like Bradley Hayes, for instance, who's come out of nowhere to start this season.
Oh, man. Georgetown. They're 1-3, but that's not fair.
No, it's really not.
Anyways,
I
guess we'll just jump right in.
Yep.
When we last spoke last Monday, there were 2 games. Big East won both of them. None of them were really. We're not going to talk about St. John's and UMBC, except for the fact that Federico Musini continued his good play.
Yeah, he had another 18-point effort that night. You were saying?
Yeah, but they won by 20 against UMBC, who I believe I looked yesterday. They're bottom 20 in the nation in KenPom, so definitely game St. John should win.
Yeah.
And then Marquette struggled again.
Marquette
at home against IUPUI, and we'll talk about Marquette struggling again. It's kind of a theme of the show.
Yep.
You really shouldn't need overtime to beat IUPUI at home. I don't know what the thing is with Marquette. Is it just the freshmen still trying to come together? Is it the fact that they insist on shooting a ton of threes?
I think it's just overall inexperience from top to bottom, I guess, with Gordon-Kowski not having the experience of leading a pretty big group of bench players. Last year, they ran pretty short. This year, he has a full roster and a full bench. He's just trying to get the kinks out, I guess. But they have looked really, really bad to start the season.
Yeah, and we'll get back to it, but after the Iowa game, I saw some people calling for Steve Wojciechowski to be fired, and come on. It's like after Radford when there was a guy in our mention saying that John Thompson should be fired.
Yeah, that'll happen. Fans are irrational sometimes. We're all guilty of it. So.
Oh, speaking of coaches that might have come into the year on the hot seat, one of them has been doing a very good job so far this year. Little tease for later.
Yep.
Anyway, Tuesday, Gavitt game started. DePaul lost.
DePaul did lose. Everyone's favorite college basketball meme.
I don't think they were necessarily bad in the Penn State game. They just weren't good enough to beat Penn State.
No.
I think if that game is played in Rosemont, they win it. But, I mean, Brandon Taylor kind of went off in the second half. He had 19 of 22 in the second half.
Yeah, and he opened up the half with like 11 straight points. So.
Yeah, so, Penn State, it was going to be tough for them to replace DJ Newbill, and it's still going to be tough. But Shep Gardner and Brendan Taylor are nice players.
They are. And, when they're not going to be a threat or anything in the Big Ten Conference this year, maybe next year they'll start making a little bit more waves. But I do agree with you that maybe if that game is played in Rosemont, DePaul comes up with a win. That was just a situation where one team just overpowered another.
Xavier had a relatively unmemorable game against Missouri, which they won. I mean,
they did. They had another one of their scoring droughts that they had eradicated in their next game, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Yeah, the Missouri game, it was like, is Xavier going to be that good this year? They really seem to be missing Stainbrook and D. Davis. And then Friday night happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we'll get to.
Yes.
One thing about the Missouri game, James Farr, 15 and 14.
Yeah, Farr had himself a heck of a week.
But I mean, at the same, he could be player of the week.
He could be player of the week. He could be.
But I mean, at the same time, Missouri has no size.
Well, yeah, but even with that said,
no, I know,
pretty good performances.
And then the Big East evened up the Gavitt games for about an hour at least when Villanova, who kind of did a little sleepwalking thing through the first 10 minutes of the Nebraska game and got everyone worried.
Yeah.
And then went on a 22-0 run.
Yeah, you should not let Villanova get on a run. They proved that not once but twice this week.
Yeah. I mean, is that just, they know they're one of the best teams in the country? They know they don't have to play a full 40 minutes, at least right now?
I mean, it could be, or it could just be that I'm not really sure what the sleepwalking was about, but the point is they were able to get the job done not once, not twice, but 3 times this week.
I'm going to go out of order here for a second. Creighton beat down the Roadrunners.
They did.
Isaiah Zierden, career high, 24.
Yep.
What happened? Something happened early in that game. Yeah, the Roadrunners had a kid from Omaha, and he got like a flagrant 2 in the first minute of the game.
Yep. There were some fireworks there for whatever reason.
You shouldn't do that. It's not nice.
No, it's definitely not. Definitely not endorsed.
And then Tuesday night, also, Georgetown and Maryland played probably the best game of the college basketball season so far.
I don't think there's any denying that. That game may hold up for the entire season, to be honest with you. That game was very, very well played from both sides.
All things considered, it was great. I will say, Diamond Stone, not ready to be in a high level yet.
Well, he did rebound in Maryland's game against Ryder.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing if he's not ready to be at a high level yet. He's playing his second and third career game.
Yeah.
You need him ready in February and March.
Exactly.
Melo Trimble had like the quietest 24-point game you've ever seen against Georgetown.
Yeah, he was a little skittish at the start of it. He wasn't making free throws, which is surprising because Melo Trimble is an excellent free throw shooter. But down the line, he started to sink a couple of them consecutively that wound up being the difference.
But Georgetown had all their starters in double figures. Sometimes you just get beat.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what it was.
4 points on the road to a top 5 team.
Yep, Rashid Suleiman was good. Trimble was good. Lehman showed up at the end. It is what it is.
Yeah. So Gavitt games first day, 2-1 Big Ten. The second day, Providence gave everyone a bit of a scare.
They did.
Chris Dunn, who, I don't know, maybe I jinxed him. I thought he was just going to kind of tear Illinois apart. I think he had 1 point in the first half.
Yeah.
And then he got a little bit better in the second half. But, Providence won by 1 point because Illinois missed like 8 straight baskets at the end of the game and then missed a putback dunk at the buzzer.
Yep, which would have been a crazy way to finish had that been the finish. So
that is an Illinois way to lose.
Very much so.
But yeah, no real takeaway from that game. Providence's next game we do have a takeaway from.
Yes.
So Gavin games 2-2 through the first 2 games. And then Thursday came, and Rutgers and St. John's, for what it was, actually played a pretty fun game.
Yeah, there was so much Rutgers in that game, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the end. Didn't Rutgers have a chance to hit a 3 at the buzzer, and then they just held it too long instead?
Yep.
That was after being up by 16.
Yep. Precisely.
Rutgers isn't very good.
No, they're really not. St. John's is decent, I guess.
Well, let's see. Because I did the write-up for the power rankings for St. John's, and we had them 6th. And, they're 3-0, but they really haven't played anyone. Let's see what they do in Maui.
Correct.
Let's see. Thursday, we also had Butler take care of business against Missouri State in a game that was never close.
Yeah, no, that game was very, very well in hand from the jump.
Yeah, I mean, you got to watch it. I didn't get to watch it. I was had some stuff going on. That was a game where Tyler Lewis looked very good.
Yeah, Lewis really emerged in that game. He was excellent with passing. His court vision looked terrific. The Bulldogs as a whole during that game looked very, very formidable.
Yeah. So St. John's winning Gavitt games 3-2. And then Creighton in Indiana was, kind of started to convince myself a little bit that maybe Creighton had a chance.
And then. Yeah, they got rolled.
From the jump, they got beat.
Yep, which, again.
There's no shame.
No, there's not. The Hoosiers are good. It's very tough to win at Assembly Hall, and things just kind of they got away from Creighton. Everyone that I follow that is a Creighton fan said that they pretty much came to a consensus of they stopped getting away. They stopped going to what works for them, and they just went away from their game, and they just kind of just fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty accurate description, I suppose.
Yeah, but you can get overwhelmed playing there,
Yeah, that'll happen with a team that's just, integrating some new parts.
Seton Hall dropped the opener of the Charleston Classic against Long Beach State, which might have ended up being a blessing in disguise. They didn't have to play Virginia.
Correct.
So, it was a good game. Long Beach State won 80-77. The Seton Hall sophomores continue to be impressive.
Yeah.
Isaiah White continues to look good at the point. Really, probably Seton Hall's best player that no one's talked about this year has been Ishmael Sonogo. Yeah,
I was going to say Desi Rodriguez, but Sonogo has been quite a good addition for them as well. He's a Newark kid, playing alongside Delgado down low. Sonogo's been kind of quiet, like you said, but he's been performing in a couple of different areas and facets this season so far. It's been a pleasant surprise for them.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Gavitt games at this point are back to 3-3 with the Creighton game. And then Marquette came out and had one of the worst starts I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, they were really, really bad.
I mean, aside from the fact that they were losing 48-21 at the half, and sometimes, it's not as bad as it looks, it was.
It could even look worse.
I think it was like 28-9 at one point or something.
Yeah, it was really bad. I mean, nothing, and I guess you can take solace of this as a Marquette fan, even though there's not much to be positive about. But nothing will be as bad as when in 2013 against Ohio State at home, they scored 35 freaking points in the entire game.
Iowa was up to a 43-18 lead at one point in the half. But what I did like is after the game, Wojo at the press conference said, someone's like, "Oh, can you take a silver lining away from this?" No, we didn't do anything right.
Yeah, he didn't really pull any punches about it, which is a smart thing to do.
And, it'll be interesting to see how they come out tonight against
LSU.
Which, Ben Simmons and Henry Ellenson are facing off tonight, just in case, you haven't heard it anywhere because for whatever reason, no one's talking about it.
Well, college basketball doesn't have the platform to themselves yet. At some point, they will. Not now.
But it's in New York,
I feel you, but
I just see Ben Simmons was on whatever it is with Bruce Beck last night.
Yeah, NBC's late night Sunday night sports show.
He was supposed to do Francesa at some point, but it's for the best if no one listens to that.
Yes.
So I would beat Marquette. Big Ten was guaranteed at least a share of the Gavitt games. I think, to be honest with you, I think we all thought it was over, and that's no slight to Xavier. It's just not easy to go into Ann Arbor and win.
And they didn't just do that. They bullied the heck out of the Wolverines.
Yeah. I was at dinner. I couldn't watch the game, so, you were kind of manning the ship. And, I would check Twitter, and, it's like 45-36 at halftime.
Yep.
Okay. And then they come out in the second half, and they did even better.
Yeah, no, they were excellent on Friday night in Ann Arbor. Certainly not a result that I was expecting. I was hoping that they would win.
Yeah.
Just for, the sake of the conference.
Yeah.
But I certainly wasn't expecting them to win in the results that they did.
No.
In the way that they did, I should say.
I don't know if anyone was.
No. I don't even know if the most optimistic Xavier fan can say that. So.
Yeah, but, they got double figures from 4 of their 5 starters.
Yep.
Just a real complete team win. Type of thing you come to expect from a Chris Mack team by now.
Yep, exactly.
You guys know how I feel about Chris Mack. He is the man. And James Farr, like you said, 13 rebounds, 8 points in this game. The problem with Michigan is, and this might be a testament to Xavier's defense or whatever, it was Karis LeVert and everyone else. And that's kind of what Michigan is, I mean.
Yep.
And you can't do that. That's not how college basketball is anymore. You can't just have one guy that can score.
No, they've got some issues that they need to figure out, but, John Beilein's a good coach. Michigan definitely has a lot of promise. They'll probably work everything out once everything gets started.
Yeah. This is a big one Friday. Villanova took care of business against East Tennessee State.
Yep, they followed up their 22-0 run with a 24-0 run. So don't let Nova get on runs.
They had a run yesterday too, didn't they?
Yeah, they went on another run yesterday. So,
I mean, pretty much typical Nova game. 5 guys in double figures. Daniel Trefu had 12 and 16. He's good.
yep.
I feel like we haven't gotten to sit down and seriously talk about Villanova yet because they haven't played anyone.
Well, yeah. It's that's also just because they're doing exactly what everyone expected them to do.
Yep. They're in the top 10 this week, though.
Yeah. Everyone's contributing. Everyone is performing at a high level. There's not really many weaknesses being shown in this team right now.
Nope.
Sure, they might be sleepwalking a little bit, but it's just very hard to have a good conversation about them because
Yep.
there's nothing bad to say, and there's nothing wrong to say.
Nope. I mean, Jay Wright's doing his thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Butler won the semifinal matchup of the Puerto Rico tip-off. Not a very good game. Temple was able to slow the pace way down, as they do.
That was a very bogged down affair.
At the same time, though, there was never really a doubt that Butler was going to win.
No, there really wasn't.
But, so that was that. And then, what am I forgetting Friday? Seton Hall Bradley.
Yeah.
Seton Hall beat Bradley.
They did something that they didn't often do last year, and that was rebound a loss with a win. They only did 3 or 4 times a season ago, so they had losing streaks of 3, 6, and 4 plagued them during the year. So,
and then there was a little bit of worry that Isaiah Whitehead might have gotten another concussion, or furthered his previous concussion.
Yeah,
he missed the whole second half, and then he didn't start yesterday, but he came in like 2 minutes into the game, and he looked okay. I mean,
yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. They have a week off. Hopefully, if he is wrong, he can get right.
Yep.
And then all lost.
All did lose again.
South Carolina. That's not a bad loss to take.
No, it's not. It's not.
South Carolina is I think they're top 40-ish in Ken Palm.
Yeah, they're in that. I think they might be like top 100. I don't remember which. Yeah, they're actually 40th. So there you go.
Yeah. So, DePaul's expected to lose games like that.
Yep.
And then Wisconsin Georgetown.
Which Georgetown kind of took it to Wisconsin a little bit. The Badgers looked a little skittish again, but that's going to happen when you replace basically your entire starting lineup.
Yeah.
And a couple bench players as well. So.
Yeah. Reggie Cameron, what a game.
Yeah, Cameron, probably his best performance as a college basketball player in general. Cameron had 14 points.
Hit 4 threes.
Yep, 4 for 6 for 3. Offensive rating of 164, which was tops in the game. Georgetown looked very good in the first win that they were able to get this season. They very much held Wisconsin in check, especially from the perimeter. Wisconsin's perimeter defense problems reared their ugly heads. Georgetown shot a cool 50% on 18 attempts. It's definitely an area that Wisconsin needs to work on as the season progresses, because right now they are allowing 43.5% from that area of the floor. That's not good.
No, that's not good.
Not good, especially the D1 average so far through this portion of the season is 33.8. So they're legitimately allowing almost a full 10% higher than the average right now. So
yeah. So Saturday, only 2 games.
Yep, there are only 2 games.
Providence beat down the Brown Bears.
They did, which is their name.
They're the Brown Bears.
Brown University Bears.
Ronnie Bullock had 24 points, which has to be a career high. I'm just guessing. Also 10 rebounds. Chris Dunn had 11 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, 6 steals.
Yep. His shot wasn't necessarily there, but Dunn definitely found a way to contribute.
I mean, his shot hasn't been there all year yet, though.
Yeah, that's true. He still has to.
That gets there.
Yeah. Once that gets there, forget it.
It's a good win for Providence because Brown beat them last year.
Yep, they were able to get revenge on Brown for a rather shocking 10-point victory that the Bears had in Friartown a season ago. So,
yeah. Also, Ryan Fazekas could be freshman of the week.
Fazekas could be freshman of the week. Yeah, he had a couple good games during the week against Illinois and Brown. So,
also Jesse Govin.
Yeah, Govin could also be there as well.
I think my question about Providence, do you think Bullock has established himself now as the number 2 scoring option since Ben Bento's he got banged up against Brown. He's had a couple slow starts.
I think that's definitely fair, especially with how efficient Bullock has been in terms of his 2-point shooting.
Yeah.
He's shooting 67.7% on 31 attempts. It's very, very solid. Yeah, I do think that he has begun to establish himself as Providence's second option for scoring. So that's definitely something he could take going forward.
An interesting litmus test for the Friars is going to be if they beat Evansville and Arizona beats Santa Clara. They face Arizona out in LA later this week.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one if that winds up occurring.
And then I would assume the winner plays Michigan State because they're going to advance on the other side. So couple chances to get some good wins for the conference, for the Friars. Wins for the conference, a concept we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, because we have to, I guess.
Oh, man. And then also Saturday, DePaul lost. Which, this one, I actually feel bad for him because they weren't supposed to play Florida State.
No, they really weren't.
And they were overmatched against Florida State. Aaron Simpson had a real nice second half to make it look a little more presentable, but Dwayne Bacon is very good.
Yeah.
Dwayne Bacon is top 10 recruit. Dwayne Bacon has lived up to the hype.
Yeah, he has. Also has a great last name.
Yeah. Problem for DePaul in this game is, well, first of all, Tommy Hamilton didn't play. Per the DePaulia, it was a coach's decision. So we're going to have to see if Tommy Hamilton plays today or if there's something going on there. Not going to speculate. I will say he did miss a game last year because of suspension.
Yep.
So that wasn't great for DePaul. But, their freshmen are playing well enough. I mean, at least Kane and Ghazi. I mean, Barry and Phillips and Scott haven't really made their way in yet. But you also have to remember Dave Leto has a drastically different offensive and defensive style than Oliver Purnell did, and he's working with the guys he has.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just
I think the thing with DePaul is, be ready to compete when you move into the new arena, which is a shame because, you're wasting Billy Garrett's college years.
Which is unfortunate because Garrett has been a very good player.
Yeah. I mean, he has been. I think he's very under the radar. But, it's going to take some time when you change coaches.
Yep.
All right. And then yesterday, let's start with the game at the Garden.
Yeah, Grayson Allen went off again. Every game, basically, except for the one against Kentucky, Grayson Allen has showed up pretty large.
Yeah, we might have been wrong about him.
Yeah, we might have, but I mean, our reservations were fair because we're off of 2 games. So,
Georgetown led at the half.
They did, and then Duke happened. and then they didn't lead anymore. But Georgetown made it interesting going down the stretch run. Couldn't really climb to within 2.
No, I mean they could have ran a better play at the end of the game there.
Yeah, they could have, but I mean Copeland had a good look.
Well, I think the thing I don't get, why did John Thompson call the timeout in between the free throws instead of?
Yeah, I mean I guess he was just explaining to them like, okay, this is what's going to happen if they miss the free throw. Do this, do that.
You can just call it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I get it. I guess
Yeah.
I'm not going to question John Thompson.
No, I will say Copeland had a good look, but I definitely would feel a little bit more comfortable with DSR handling the ball in that situation.
I would feel more comfortable with DSR taking the shot.
Yeah. I mean, Copeland had a terrific game, so I don't blame him for shooting that. He was very good in the first half.
We give college basketball teams a bunch of crap for how bad they are at final possessions, but you're 18 years old. You're not always fully thinking. You're thinking, oh, I want to win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, especially if you're not coming out drawing like a set play up. But overall, nice week for Georgetown.
Yeah. Even despite the fact that they're 1-3, I don't think anyone can really dispute the fact that they're going to be a very good team this year. Even with the fact that they're about 2 games under 500. It's not like in all their games that they've lost so far that they've looked bad. It's just Radford had the game of their life against them.
Yep. They're right there against Maryland.
Right there against Maryland. They were right there against Duke towards the end. And you just have to hope, and I know I saw someone say this yesterday, I forgot who it was. You just have to hope that the committee looks at their performances and they don't just look at them as losses, but they remember how well they competed in.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't really have a reason to believe that they're going to lose at home against Syracuse, so that's a good win to pick up.
That's going to be another fun game. We thought Georgetown, Maryland was fun in terms of atmospheres. That Verizon Center is going to be, can't wait for that.
Probably Jim Boeheim's last game at the Verizon Center.
Yeah, that's very fair to say before Mike Hopkins probably takes over. Not that Mike Hopkins.
Leaving by Syracuse.
Yes.
That's a move for you right there.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, Seton Hall beat Ole Miss to finish. That was a 5th place game. So, if you win it, do you finish 4th technically? I don't.
Yeah. I think so.
That sounds right.
No, because they probably have the consolation game for 3rd, and then that person.
Yeah. Okay. So Seton Hall finished 5th, which is.
That's fine. I mean, see.
Look, I mean, again, sure, Bradley's not the best team, but Ole Miss, definitely a better team you could have faced than if you beat Long Beach State, lost to Virginia, and had to play
whoever Oklahoma State played.
Yeah. And Oklahoma State played who did Oklahoma State play? Someone they beat down.
Oh, they played Long Beach State.
Okay, so it would have been different. Right? I mean,
it would have been a little different, but
does that mean that Seton Hall would have played Oklahoma State then?
They might have, yeah.
No, I guess that would have been good, but still, the point is, your realistic goal for the Charleston Classic always should have been 2-1.
And that's exactly what they did. And again, they responded well after a loss. They got 2 double-digit victories. That's a sign of progress for me, and it's showing that they're really turning a corner after everything went to you-know-what last year.
Yeah. And now you come home and you have a week to prepare against a Georgia team who's not what they were last year.
No, certainly not. It's going to be interesting. I know someone brought this up, mentions that it'll be interesting to see how they fare against a high major club for the first time this season.
Yeah.
Well, I can say that actually they played Ole Miss. Ole Miss in the SEC, obviously. And they proved that they're 12 points better than them. So.
Yeah. Yeah, home against Georgia is a game you need to win. On the road against George Washington is not a game you need to win.
No, it's not, but it would be a very, very good win for them. And
Oh, yeah. And then, obviously, on the road against Rutgers, that's a game you need to win.
yeah, you better win that.
They also play Wichita. So Seton Hall, actually, they got a nice little non-conference schedule.
Well, Seton Hall typically schedules pretty well, so this doesn't come as too much of a surprise to me.
And, again, Kevin Willard so far has done a great job.
Yeah, he's answered all the questions so far. But I don't think anyone's ever really questioned his ability to win non-conference games. Seton Hall under Kevin Willard has done.
Oh yeah, no.
They've done exceptional in the non-conference slate. They've gotten off to fast starts before. The only time they really didn't get off to a really fast start was Willard's first year when they went 6-6 in the non-conference, and they started off 2-3, 3-4, won 3 in a row before dropping 2 to Dayton and Richmond before the Big East season started. But 2012 they start 11-1. 2012, 2013 they start off 11-2.
Yep.
2013, 2014 they kind of fall off a little bit. They start off 9-4. Their one bad loss was at home to Fairleigh Dickinson. They lost to St. Peter's. I forgot that they did that. Oh my God! Then last year, of course, they start off 10-2.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, no, it's about winning conference games.
It is about winning conference games mostly for Kevin Willard and his detractors and Seton Hall detractors and fans out there. So, but you don't discount the fact that it could just give them a little bit more confidence, and they're playing really well right
now. Yeah, they are. They definitely are.
Of the teams in the tier that Seton Hall is in right now, I would say that they are far and away the best team in that tier.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's them, or if you're putting Creighton on that tier also, Creighton might be up there.
Yeah, they probably. I suppose that's a good point, but
yeah. And then the final game of the week that we need to recap here, Butler lost to Miami. It looks bad on paper. It was pretty bad. They were down by 19 at one point in the first half. But
Miami is good.
Miami's good. Miami's going to be top 15 in 20 minutes.
Well, I don't think there's a reason that they shouldn't be top 10, but as someone said last night, preseason thoughts and convictions on teams polls right now are greater than the actual performances on the floor right now. So.
Yep. And I saw someone say that this Miami team is like Larinaga's George Mason team on steroids. And I mean, kind of. I see some similarities.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to argue, and they're just blowing the doors off of everybody that they're facing. I mean, it's very, very impressive.
ACC so far, and I hope this continues into conference play as a college basketball fan, has looked like the Big East of the late 2000s.
And that was the aim when they decided to be a super conference for basketball purposes, because they sure as heck weren't adding the likes of Syracuse.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell else that they've added. Louisville.
Yeah.
I mean, Louisville's a good football program, don't get me wrong, but
no, that's not why you added them, though.
You think Louisville, what do you think of? You think of basketball right now.
Yeah. But, there's some...
in Pittsburgh as well. I mean, you're not adding for Pitt football. Pitt football does not draw at Heinz Field, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Pitt football has been very successful over the years, but not why they're there.
A big problem for Butler yesterday. Kellen Dunham, Roosevelt Jones scored 56% of their points.
Yeah, it's very tough to win when only 2 players are combining for your offensive output.
Yeah, I mean, Butler couldn't get anything going in the paint because of Tanya Jukiri, 7-footer, had 12 points, 12 rebounds.
Yep.
Every time Butler went on a run in the second half, they'd cut it to 4 or 7. Miami would hit 3.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep, and these two teams shot pretty evenly from 3 as well, so it's not like Miami overwhelmed the hell out of them. It's just From what I'm gathering here, the main difference in this game was the fact that
Butler was down by 19 points.
Yeah, and Butler, their field goal percentage inside three was 43.9% compared to Miami, who dominated with 56.2% on their 2-point attempts.
Also, Miami finished 22 of 24 from the free throw line.
Yeah. So, and they had only 2 less turnovers than Butler. Yeah, this was pretty much just the fact that Miami just started off really hot.
But that being said, that's not a bad trip to Puerto Rico for Butler.
Absolutely not. They should. I would have liked to have seen them face Utah. It would have been a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
And that's no slight to Miami, but yeah, that's a very good trip for Butler, and there's no shame in losing to Miami. Right.
Nope.
Now. The U is a very, very good team right now.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they got to be good at one sport.
I'm not sure if you just saw Casual Hoya just tweeted, it only took one game for Duke's Grayson Allen to elevate himself into the Devendorfian level in the pantheon of Hoya's hatred.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had 32 plus yesterday. He shoved LJ Peak in the back after he fouled him.
Something like that. I mean, come on.
So that'll do it for games where you had to recap. Previews will be hard because there are tournaments this week, so...
I will say one thing. Akron will wind up being a better opponent for Villanova than any opponent that they face in Brooklyn this week in the preseason NIT. Akron will give them a tougher test than anyone that they could possibly face this week. So they'll be tougher than Stanford, and they'll be tougher than Georgia Tech or Arkansas.
Well, Tech and Arkansas already have probably 3 terrible losses between them.
Yeah.
Tech lost to someone pretty terrible yesterday.
It was someone that...
Tech lost to Eastern Tennessee yesterday.
Tennessee State, who had lost to Villanova.
Yeah. Transit property. And Arkansas lost to Akron.
Yeah, but with that said, Georgia Tech actually did have 2 pretty quality wins against Green Bay and Tennessee. So, but
Green Bay's not a good win this year. They don't keep for Sykes anymore.
That's true. I didn't realize that Green Bay started off 1-3. Their only win is against Minnesota Duluth. Oh my God.
Green Bay played a 6 a.m. game on the tip-off against.
They did. They
lost to
against East Tennessee State.
We're in the Matrix.
We are in the Matrix right now. Yes.
Anyway,
yeah. Arkansas doesn't have any bad losses. They lost to Akron. Akron's a good team.
They lost to Akron in Fayetteville.
That's true, but hey, Akron gave Villanova all they could handle yesterday.
They did. Akron also beat whoever 100-30 or something.
Oh, Hiram, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
Hiram.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they won 100-30.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to go into some quick previews, or do we want to take a break here and talk about conference wins?
I guess we'll get conference wins over with.
Okay. Fun discussion on Twitter yesterday. I said, you don't have to win your your preseason tournament, You can go 2-1 or whatever, learn what you need to fix, and you're okay. The reply that I saw a couple times was, oh, well, that doesn't help conference RPI. No.
It doesn't.
But, the conference has to win those games because you get determined how many NCAA tournament bids you get before conference play starts. So, I guess the 2-part question, and then there'll be another part after. First, do you agree with that notion that, you have to win your preseason tournament for the benefit of the conference? And then, I just go with that one first.
I think really what it comes down to is how you perform. Georgetown's 1-3, and everyone is pretty much saying that they might be the best 1-3 team ever.
Yeah.
The results, they lost to Duke and Maryland by a combined 6 points. It'll hurt the conference's RPI, but you have to look a little bit deeper. Right? You have to see how you have to be less lazy. You have to, and I know that some people are influenced more by RPI than others, but you have to take context into account here. I mean, Seton Hall, they go 2-1. They avoid Virginia in the Charleston Classic. They come out looking pretty good. I mean, yeah, their loss was to Long Beach State, but they picked up a win over a high major team in Mississippi. They looked good against Bradley, and I'm not saying they're going to get to the tournament or anything, but they did their job. Butler, they beat Temple, they beat Missouri State, and they lose to Miami by a lot. But you have to take into account the fact that Miami is a good team, and there's no real shame in losing to them because they did what they could. Miami was just flat out better. Villanova, they'll take care of their business later this week in the preseason NIT. They're going to win their conference tournament. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yep.
I mean, my main takeaway is, sure, it's bad, but sometimes you just have to dig deeper because what you see might not be what you actually got.
Well, yeah, and I mean, okay, say you do get less bids. Say only 4 Big East teams get in, but 2 of them get to the Sweet 16, 1 of them gets to the Elite 8 or the Final 4. Isn't that a better year than last year?
I mean, yeah, I think it would be better than the last 2 years, to be honest, because 2013, the first year of the new Big East was absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, and then next year was kind of, you got from point A to point B.
Yeah, so, I mean, even if you get less teams this year, if your tournament teams wind up being Villanova, Xavier, Butler, Georgetown, you're gonna probably win 2.
Yeah.
One or two of those teams are gonna win 2. I mean, the talent is evident, and
it's not easy to send 60% of your conference.
No, it's really not, and even when the Big East did what they did in 2011, they put over half of their conference in.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they were able to make some significant moves there. So people can be like, "Oh, well, they sent a lot of teams then, and they went far." Well, okay, Pitt didn't make the second weekend in that year. They lost to Butler. Notre Dame didn't make the second weekend again because of Notre Dame. We lost to Florida State. Syracuse didn't make the second weekend that year. They lost to Marquette. Louisville got upset in the first round to Morehead State. St. John's lost to Gonzaga. West Virginia lost in the first weekend to Kentucky. Yeah. Cincinnati didn't make the second weekend. Georgetown lost to VCU. The only team that Villanova lost to George Mason, and Marquette made the second weekend. The only teams that did well for the Big East that year were Marquette, who lost in the Sweet 16, and UConn, who won the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
They sent 11 teams to the conference, and 2 of them made the second weekend.
Yeah.
And if I recall correctly, people did not respond that well. People said it's the Big East. Of course, they didn't send a lot of teams to the second weekend. Duh.
Yeah.
They beat up on each other all season. Now they're all beat up, and now they're not going to do anything in the postseason. Oh, how cliche.
Well, yeah. And you know what I care about? I care about sending the best teams in the conference to the tournament, be it 4 of them, be it 5 of them. And I care about, Villanova and Georgetown shedding the stupid narrative.
Yeah.
I don't care how many teams make it.
Yeah, and I would much rather a situation where you send 4 teams to the NCAA tournament, the top 4 teams that we just mentioned, and like half of them make it to the Sweet 16, and maybe even one of them makes the Elite 8. Then send like 6, maybe even 7.
Yeah.
And have like 1 make a long run. And everyone else either gets upset in the first game or the second game. And maybe 1 gets to the Sweet 16 but then loses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I get it. It looks better for the conference if they send a lot of teams, but if you send your best and your best does the work, and they do really well, then yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Let's do some previewing real quick.
Okay.
Norfolk plays DePaul in about 40 minutes on YouTube.
Yeah. 2 games that are going to be on the internet tonight.
Yep.
DePaul, and then later Creighton plays at midnight.
Midnight Eastern. It's get weird.
Yeah.
DePaul should beat Norfolk.
Yeah. Norfolk still a lot of bad memories for me personally.
A little bit of revenge for Dave Leto. St. John's against Vandy. I have not watched a minute of Vandy this year, but they're 3-0 and they're ranked.
Damian Jones is a stud. He's 7 feet tall. St. John's has one player who's taller than 6'9". That's Yankuba Sima. He's a freshman. He's probably going to get bodied in this game by Jones, who's a junior. All SEC preseason, was All SEC last year on the first team. Very talented player. Vanderbilt also has a couple good guards that Musini is going to be running into. 2 in particular who are averaging at least a step, so he's going to have to be careful with the basketball. If Vanderbilt doesn't win this by double digits, I'll be shocked.
Okay. What if Chris Mullen and Mitch Richmond suit up and play for St. John's? Then would you still take Vanderbilt by double digits?
I'm going to make it tough.
Providence plays NJIT tonight in their final tip-off before they head across the country.
Beware the Highlanders.
Yes, NJIT beat Michigan a couple years ago.
They did. That was only last year.
A couple nice wins this year. Went to Southern Florida, South Florida, whatever they are there in Tampa. Doesn't count.
Former Big East representative, South Florida.
They beat Boston, who, they don't have their best player anymore. He transferred to Creighton.
Yep. And they beat Lafayette. So the NJIT has gotten off to a hot start in the Atlantic Sun. I believe this is their first year in Division I. So they're off to a good start.
Sounds right. LSU Marquette, big game. Ben Simmons, Henry Ellenson. Sean will be there.
Yep, we'll have live coverage from the event. Please don't get in a tizzy if we decide to tweet about the games that are also there. We had some people that get angry about that. Listen, here's the thing: we have someone there. Someone is probably going to stay for the entirety of it.
Yeah, I mean, you got credentials. You're going to cover the whole thing.
And I mean, sure, yeah, we're a Big East site, but it's kind of important, especially tonight, because the winner or loser of NC State or Arizona State, is it?
Arizona State and NC State, yeah.
So the winner or loser of that game is going to be playing Marquette. So you know what's going on. We want to keep you in the loop so that, you know exactly what you're getting in your next game.
Yeah.
So, please cut us some slack here. Our guy is there.
Yeah.
Basketball is going to stay there the entire time, and he's going to tweet. It is what it is.
Xavier plays Northern Kentucky, as they do pretty much every year, at the Cintas Center.
It is the debut of 2015 of Dick Stockton.
Yeah.
The great Dick Stockton, who is probably like 10 years past his age. But
and then we've got the midnight Creighton Rutgers game on YouTube.
I just hope Creighton wins.
Creighton should win. It's in Vegas. Part of the Men Who Speak Up main event. I don't actually know the other 2 teams in this, but I know Creighton plays again Wednesday.
I think one of them is Clemson, and the other is Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Tomorrow, if you go on the ESPN schedule, you'll notice there are no games scheduled. There are games, though.
There are.
St. John's is playing someone. Marquette is playing either NC State or Arizona State. So, there are only 2 games, but there are games.
There are games, yeah, exactly.
Wednesday, you'll notice no games again. Creighton,
Depends on.
Creighton's playing their other Vegas game. St. John's is playing again, I believe. I think
I'm not sure against who in terms of the bracket, but they're facing another team in this tournament, so maybe it'll be Chaminade.
I know they play Wake or Indiana tomorrow. So probably Wake.
Yeah, probably.
Thursday, Xavier has the noon Eastern tip in Orlando against Alabama. That'll be a good game.
Yep.
Villanova's at the Barclays Center against Stanford. Villanova should roll.
Yep.
Providence in LA against Evansville. And is there one more? St. John's might not play Wednesday. They might play Thursday.
Yeah. I'm not sure, though.
Then Friday, you have Xavier has game 2. Villanova has game 2. Providence has game 2. I believe that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And then Saturday, their actual game scheduled.
Yep.
You got Bryant against Georgetown. Butler against SIU Edwardsville. Georgia against Seton Hall. Creighton against Western Illinois. And I would assume some continuations of those tournaments.
Yep.
And then Sunday, Marquette plays Jackson State. And then next Monday is an actual off day.
It is.
That's going to be weird. That's going to be weird.
It will be weird, but it'll be a nice little break.
So yeah, that'll about do it, unless we wanted to stay on real quick until they announce the
Well, we also don't know when that's going to be, so I'm surprised what it is.
Let me go back. I know we got a couple questions yesterday. Let's just see if we covered the questions. Can Xavier beat Villanova? Right now, given who both teams have played, I would say, but, you know, they don't play for another couple months. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of tough to say right now.
But, I mean, I think Xavier, Butler, and Georgetown all have a better chance this year of beating Villanova than they did last year, because I think all three of them are better. I even think Xavier's better, even though they lost Stainbrook and D. Davis. And even though Villanova might be better than last year too, I don't know who got more better, I guess, would be.
Yep.
After 2 weeks, how would you adjust expectations for the league or any team from the preseason? Well, Marquette's not as good as we thought they'd be.
Pretty much.
That's
about the only adjustment I really have right now. So.
No, I mean, I kind of expected St. John's to be 3-0. I mean,
yeah.
I expected Seton Hall to be all right. I expected Butler to be fine. Villanova not to have any losses. I guess I didn't expect Georgetown to lose to Radford, but.
All right, so according to Zach Braziller of the New York Post, Kubasima is the Big East Rookie of the Week.
No, not even someone we mentioned.
Nope.
That is okay. He had a good week.
Yep.
He had a good week. That's fine.
He did. Meanwhile, baseball, Dodgers just made Dave Roberts' hire as manager official.
So I believe that's all MLB manager.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all the managers already been filled. Rather little hype either. So.
Also, I know if you're a wrestling fan, Cage Side Live is doing a special Monday afternoon show.
Yep, and you should probably tune into that. It's probably going to be entertaining. I know I'm about to jump on there. This is over.
They are one of the best live weekly shows on the SB Nation network.
Yep, absolutely.
What else? That might be. I don't know. I mean,
no, that might be it here.
Answered the questions. Kind of talked about everything.
Yep.
Kind of hard this week to break down the upcoming games because we don't know them yet. But obviously, they'll all be on the site.
Yep.
If you want to watch DePaul play Norfolk and you're watching this right now, you can go to paradisejam.com and they will stream it on YouTube for you. There might not be announcers because there weren't announcers the other day, and the score bug graphic might not match the actual score.
All right. Josh Hart has been named the Big East Player of the Week,
Yes.
unsurprisingly so.
I told you.
Yep, you're right. There you go.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get the write-up up about those.
Yep, that'll do it.
Oh, by the way, if you read the Player of the Week write-up post and you don't agree with it, please don't blame us for that. We don't vote on them.
Yeah, seriously. We are just taking exactly what the Big East site says. So.
Also, Kellen Dunham should not have beaten Chris Dunn last week. Chris Dunn had 32 points. Kellen Dunham only played 18 minutes in a game where his team scored 144 points.
Exactly.
You can't just pick one player. But anyways, I think we're about done here.
That'll about do it. So be sure to keep reading. We'll be back next Monday on our off day.
Yep.
Discuss what's happened in the past week. For Rob O'Neill, I'm Chris Dovak. Have a good day.